Hello. Today's podcast is entitled Trust versus Following Blindly. Have you ever trusted someone so much that you take everything they say as fact or truth? Has someone ever said they trusted you? However, after you give them information, they don't jump on it yet. They instead take your information as something to look into. What is the difference between trusting someone and following them blindly? Of course, I have my own situation to share with you to help explain how, when we trust people, sometimes we cross the boundary into following blindly. It can happen quickly without you noticing until the consequences hit. 2 years ago, a wake up call was calling my name. I had such an amazing experience with the church. Both my husband and I had found we were growing and changing. We had gotten to have a stronger relationship with our higher power. It seemed that the leaders of the church knew what they were doing in guiding us. It got to the point that when they suggested changes in our lives, we just did it. We didn't stop to see if that is the path our higher power wanted for us. We trusted them so much, and they had been right about all the other things, that we hadn't realized that we were following blindly. We started making changes in our lives that we didn't think we needed to make. However, our leadership told us to be better and have a stronger relationship with our higher power, we needed to make these changes. Then, in order to stay in leadership, we had to make some other sacrifices that absolutely didn't feel right. But they had been right before, so nope. See, they are humans, and humans make mistakes. Even people who have your absolute best interest at heart, we still aren't perfect. Many times our own personal opinions or experiences get in the way. I believe everyone should have a spiritual life. What that looks like is up to you and your higher power. My spiritual life, I was taking out of my higher power's hands and putting it into human hands. See, I believe God made us all unique, which means there isn't a one size fits all. One person's hang up may not be a problem for me. What is a problem for me may not be an issue for you at all. These leaders were trying to tell me that an issue I had spent my whole adult life healing, I wasn't healed from. No one had talked to me. They took the word of a leader they trusted blindly, who didn't know me, but had heard from someone who knew me that they trusted blindly. So, in order for me to stay in leadership, I had held for an entire year, I needed to heal my past. Now, in hindsight, why was I allowed in leadership if they thought I had a problem in the first place? I jumped through many of their hoops. Each hoop my husband and I jumped through, the worse things got, not better. When you are following your higher power's guidance, things are supposed to move in a forward motion. Finally, it hit us. We were not stopping and discerning what was being requested of us. We neglected to see we had put our trust in humans and then followed them blindly. Once we challenged what was happening, our lives got better. I'm happy to say that my path is back on track. It had nothing to do with the leadership of that church. It had to do with my husband and I choosing to let them tell us what was right and wrong for us. Instead of taking it under advisement, talking to each other, and talking to our higher power, then make a decision. There is nothing wrong with trusting people who have earned it. We do need to be responsible and hold ourselves accountable for what we decide to do with that trusted person's information that was given to us. It's not disrespectful to take what they gave you and research and choose for yourself what is best. You can still trust them even if you don't follow their advice. There's also no reason for you to be offended when a person who normally takes your advice or trusts you chooses to decide for themselves. Remember that you have choices. The choices could be a mix of good or bad, but you still have a choice. Choosing to let someone else make choices for you is still a choice you made. You still have to live with the consequences of your choices. Take the time to think over what has been suggested to you before you act. Make sure it's the right thing for you at the time and place that you are in. My question is, do you have people you trust, or do you have people you follow blindly? Have you chosen to let someone choose for you? What can you do to take your choices back? Thank you, and have a blessed day.